It is 4 a.m. The house is completely silent and then it starts. Slurp, slurp, slurp. You roll over, half asleep, and there he is in the corner, hunched over, obsessively licking and chewing at his own paws like his life depends on it. You say his name. He stops for maybe 3 seconds. And then, the second you close your eyes again, slurp, slurp, slurp. He goes right back to it, gnawing at his feet until they are raw, red, and shining with saliva. If that sound is haunting your nights right now, I need you to keep watching, because in the next few minutes I'm going to reveal the real reason your dog is licking his paws raw, and I'm going to show you exactly how to stop it in 4 days using things you already have at home. I know how helpless this makes you feel. You have probably spent hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars trying to fix it. You have tried the cone of shame. You have tried the steroid creams. You have tried the expensive allergy pills that the vet swears by, and maybe, just maybe, it calms down for a week. But the moment that medication wears off, the chewing comes roaring back, worse than before. So let me ask you something that might completely change the way you see this problem. What if I told you that your dog does not have a grass allergy at all? What if I told you that for all this time, you have been treating the completely wrong disease, and the actual cure is not in a pharmacy, but sitting right now inside your kitchen pantry and your refrigerator? Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I am a practicing veterinarian, and I want you to know that constant paw licking is, without exaggeration, the single most common reason dogs are dragged into my clinic. Day after day, worried pet parents sit across from me, exhausted and defeated, holding a dog with feet stained rusty brown from endless chewing. And today we are finally going to end that frustration for good. Before we dive into the 4-day plan, do me one small favor. If you want your dog to sleep peacefully again, hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell right now, because I post these deep dives into natural dog health every single week, and I do not want you to miss the next one. Alright, grab a notebook, because this is a complete masterclass, and we are starting with the myth that is keeping your dog sick. Let us talk about the allergy trap. When a dog walks into most clinics with red, itchy, chewed-up paws, the standard protocol is almost automatic. Here, take this immunosuppressant pill. Here, take this injection. Now, I want to be fair. These drugs are genuine miracles for dogs with severe genetic skin disease. They work by reaching into the brain and switching off the itch signal entirely. But here is the part nobody tells you. They do not cure anything. They are a band-aid. Think of it like the check engine light on your car. Giving your dog an allergy pill is like slapping a piece of black electrical tape over that warning light. Sure, you cannot see the light anymore, so you feel better, but the engine underneath is still broken, still grinding itself apart. And the moment that tape peels off, when the pill wears off, the light comes blazing back, and the itching returns 10 times worse than before. So if it is not the grass, and it is not the pollen, what on earth is actually causing this? I want you to do something a little strange right now. Pause. Walk over to your dog, pick up one of his paws and smell it. Go ahead. Does it smell like corn chips? Does it smell a little bit like stale Fritos or old musty cheese? I know that sounds bizarre, but that smell is the single biggest clue you will ever get. That corn chip odor is not just normal dog smell. That is the unmistakable scent of a raging fungal yeast infection, a yeast specifically called Malassezia. And this, my friends, is the real reason your dog cannot stop licking his paws. Here is why it happens. Yeast is a living organism, and it absolutely thrives in warm, dark, damp places. And what could possibly be warmer, darker, and damper than the tight little spaces between your dog's toes? It is a perfect breeding ground. When that yeast starts to overpopulate, it becomes intensely, maddeningly itchy. It burns, it stings, and it drives your dog completely out of his mind. So what does he do to cope? He licks. But think about what a dog's tongue actually is. It is warm, it is wet, and it is covered in bacteria. So every single time he licks that itchy paw to soothe it, he is dumping heat and moisture onto the exact spot where the yeast is growing. He is literally feeding the very thing that is torturing him. The yeast makes him lick, and the licking feeds the yeast. It is a vicious, self-feeding cycle, and eventually the fur between his toes turns that telltale, rusty, saliva-stained brown. Now you understand why those allergy pills never truly worked. An allergy pill switches off the immune system's response, but it does absolutely nothing to kill a living, breathing fungus that is actively growing on your dog's skin. In fact, and this is the cruel twist, because those steroids and pills suppress the immune system, they actually lower your dog's natural defenses. That gives the yeast an open door to grow even stronger and spread from the paws to the ears, the armpits, and the belly. Let me tell you about a golden doodle that came into my clinic. He had been on allergy medication for 2 solid years. His paws were stained a deep, angry red, and he shook his head constantly because his ears were packed with dark, smelly brown wax. His owner was in tears, absolutely convinced her dog was allergic to the grass in her own backyard. I gently took a swab from his paw, placed it under the microscope, and showed her the screen. It was not allergies. It was an ocean of yeast swimming everywhere. That dog was never allergic to the yard. He had a systemic fungal infection that had taken over his entire body. So if yeast is the true villain, we have to ask the deeper question. Where did it come from? Why does your dog have a fungus colonizing his paws, while the dog next door runs around perfectly fine? To answer that, we have to stop looking at his feet and start looking inside his food bowl. Because yeast, like every living thing, needs food to survive and multiply. And do you know what yeast's absolute favorite meal in the entire world is? Sugar. Now I can already hear you. But I would never feed my dog sugar. I feed him premium, high-quality dry kibble. And that, right there, is the veterinary secret that pet food companies pray you never figure out. Here's the truth about how dry, crunchy kibble is made. In order to shape those little pebbles and make them shelf-stable for 18 months, manufacturers have to use carbohydrates as a binding glue. They pack it with corn, wheat, rice, potatoes, peas, or tapioca. And do not fall for the grain-free label either, because those bags are simply loaded with carbs from potatoes and legumes instead. Now watch what happens inside your dog's body. The instant he eats that high-carbohydrate kibble, his system breaks those starches down into massive amounts of glucose. Glucose is sugar, so without ever meaning to, you have been serving your best friend a high-sugar diet, twice a day, every single day of his life. And the yeast living in his gut throws a feast. It gorges on that sugar, multiplies out of control, and marches through his bloodstream out to the extremities, the ears, and the paws. This is where it gets serious because this leads to a condition called leaky gut syndrome. When the gut is thrown out of balance by too many carbs and too much yeast, the delicate lining of the intestines becomes inflamed and porous, almost like a screen door full of holes. Microscopic toxins and yeast particles literally leak out of the digestive tract and spill into the bloodstream. The immune system panics, sounding the alarm everywhere at once, triggering massive full-body inflammation. And the body's desperate attempt to push all that yeast out happens through the skin, especially the sweat glands in the paws. And this, my friends, is the aha moment I need you to hold on to. The itchy paws are not the disease. The itchy paws are only a symptom of a broken, sugar-soaked, yeast-infected gut. This is exactly why spraying some anti-itch spray on his foot is a losing battle. You simply cannot heal a gut from the outside. If this is finally starting to make sense, if this is clicking into place after months or years of confusion, do me a favor and smash that like button right now. It genuinely helps me get this holistic, natural message out to more suffering dogs, and it lets me know you want me to keep making these masterclasses. Now let us get to the part you have been waiting for. The cure. And I promise you it is a simple two-step process that starts working fast. Step 1 is all about giving your dog immediate, soothing relief from that burning, itchy fire on his paws. Remember the key we uncovered. Yeast cannot survive in an acidic environment. So we are going to completely change the pH of your dog's paws and make it a place where yeast simply cannot live. For this you need raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, the kind that clearly says with the mother right there on the label. Here's the exact recipe. Take a small tub, a deep container, or even just your bathtub, and mix 1 part apple cider vinegar with 2 parts warm water. Now listen closely because this is important. If your dog's paws are extremely red, raw, or cracked, you must dilute it much further, 1 part vinegar to 4 parts water, so that it does not sting him. And never ever use this on paws that are openly bleeding. Once your mixture is ready, stand your dog right in it, making absolutely sure the liquid reaches up into the spaces between his toes, and let him soak for 5 full minutes. The acetic acid in that vinegar goes to work instantly, killing the yeast and fungus living on the surface of the skin while rinsing away irritating allergens and bacteria. Then, after 5 minutes, lift him out. And here's the single most critical step that everyone gets wrong. You must dry those paws completely. Grab a towel, and if your dog will tolerate it, use a hair dryer on the cool setting to get right down between the toes. Remember, yeast loves moisture. If you leave those paws even slightly damp, you are just inviting the yeast to move right back in. Do this soak once a day for 4 days, and I want you to watch what happens. The corn chip smell will fade away. The angry red will soften to a calm, pale pink. And that heartbreaking 4 a.m. licking will finally, blessedly, stop. Your dog will sleep, and so will you. But please, do not stop there, because that soak only heals the outside. If we ignore the inside, that infection comes crawling right back next month. So step 2 is the permanent cure. We have to heal the leaky gut and starve the yeast at its source. Rule number 1, we starve it. That means cutting the sugar and the heavy carbohydrates. If you are feeding a cheap kibble where the first or second ingredient is corn, wheat, or soy, it is time to transition to a higher quality food where real meat is the first ingredient. If you can manage it, a fresh cooked, raw, or freeze-dried diet is even better, because these have almost no starchy carbs, which means the yeast instantly loses its food supply and begins to die off. Rule number 2, we rebuild the army in the gut. Right now, the bad yeast is winning the war, so we need to send in reinforcements. Add a high-quality dog-specific probiotic to his food every single day, but not just any probiotic. Look for one that contains a specific and almost magical ingredient called Saccharomyces boulardii. This is a beneficial, healthy yeast, and when it reaches the gut, it aggressively crowds out and destroys the bad, itchy yeast, seals up that leaky gut lining, and shuts down the inflammation at its root. And if you can find one that also includes digestive enzymes, even better, because those enzymes help your dog fully break down his food so there are no leftover scraps for the bad yeast to feast on. By dropping the carbs and adding these powerful probiotics, you are doing something profound. You are literally changing your dog's internal terrain, transforming his body into a place where yeast simply cannot survive. Now, the paw soak brings relief in 4 days, but the deep gut healing takes about 3 to 4 weeks to fully complete. So stay patient and stay consistent, because once that gut heals, your dog's immune system becomes an impenetrable fortress, and the licking does not just stop, it stops for good. I know this was a lot of science, and I know that changing diets and doing daily paw soaks takes real effort, but if this masterclass has already given you hope, take 1 second to leave a like and drop a comment, telling me if your dog has those Frito feet. I read every single one, and I am here to help you through it. So let us lock in the battle plan together. Step 1, smell those paws. If you catch that corn chip scent, you are dealing with yeast, not allergies. Step 2, start the 5-minute apple cider vinegar soak today, once a day for 4 days, to bring immediate relief and kill the fungus on the surface. Step 3, starve the yeast for good by upgrading his diet and adding a powerful probiotic to his bowl, healing that leaky gut permanently from the inside out. That is the entire cure. Cheap, natural, and rooted in the real cause instead of masking the symptom. I want you to really sit with how much power you have here. You are the only advocate your dog has in this world. He cannot read a label, he cannot change his own diet, and he cannot understand why his feet burn. He is relying entirely on you to look past the symptoms and heal him from the inside out. And the very fact that you sat here and watched this whole thing proves you are exactly the kind of devoted pet parent he deserves. So if this video gave you that aha moment you have been searching for, please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another one of these. And give this video a like to help me reach another exhausted owner lying awake at 4 in the morning, listening to that same terrible sound. Go give your best friend a gentle scratch behind the ears. Start that first paw soak tonight, and I will see you in the next one.